Maybe you're thinking
Depends upon our health, you know.
Right.
So far, so good though.
We are good to go. Where we go?
Okay, they're getting ready. I just got a new 5-year contract, so.
I'm sorry.
I just got a new 5-year contract.
Okay. So what do you do?
This is medical program.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're heading on towards Builth Wells. Now, Builth will be a fairly brief stop this morning for like a morning cup of tea or coffee, and you'll have longer in Llangollen because Llangollen will be where you get some lunch, where you have free time to get lunch. Builth is very small, and we're going to park. There's one main street which we're going to drive down, and then we'll park just parallel on another street parallel to that one, and you basically do a circle round. You may want to get a morning cup of tea or coffee. So the plan at the moment would be that we're going to get into Builth probably about 11 o'clock, sorry, probably about 10 o'clock. And we'll be there for about 45 minutes or so. And then we're going to drive into Llangollen, and we'll probably get to Llangollen around about 1 o'clock, and Llangollen will be our lunch stop. So if you want to get something to eat prior to around 1 o'clock, you may want to get a snack in Builth Wells, which will be our next stop at around about 10 o'clock.
What's in it? It's a town?
So it's a small town, yeah, and everything's on one main street. There are a few little antique and knick-knack shops. It's quite quirky, it's quite a different place in that mid Wales can be very, very sleepy, and there's a few little coffee shops and sandwich shops, but there's not a great deal. I'll tell you about a cipher, which is important to the area, and we'll talk about the Eisteddfod, different things to do with Builth. But you walk down one street which is parallel to where we park.
We're mostly going to be in Wales today, is that right?
We're going to be in Wales. So just not being asked about Wales. We're in Wales now. We're going to be in Wales at our first stop and at our second stop. Then on the drive between Llangollen and Liverpool, we cross into England. So today is the only bit of Wales that we do. Yeah. Just give me one moment. We'll talk about Welsh souvenirs. So this area is a national park called the Brecon Beacons. Brecon is the name of a town, and it's spelled B-R-E-C-O-N, and then Beacons just means hills. Pontadaff is the nearest to where we stop, which is P-O-N-T space A-R space D-A-F. But we weren't really in any town, or one town or another, we were just a brief photograph. Pontadaff would be, you know, if you wanted to label a photo, that's what you would say it was. So there are a few different Welsh souvenirs. Are you all hearing me okay? Just give me a thumbs up at the back if it's all right. Thank you very much. You may see Red Dragon, cuddly toys or t-shirts or jumpers and things with the word Cymru on, and that is the Welsh word for Wales. The other thing that you'll see a lot of will be something called a Welsh love spoon. Now the Welsh love spoons are traditional, and they are very, very popular souvenirs. They can be passed through families' hands, and traditionally they would go from a man to a woman. And so the way that it would work is you can now give them from one half of a couple to another half of the couple. You can give them to children, to parents. You can give them to pick love, friendship, all sorts of different reasons. But going back maybe 300 years, these love spoons were created to show a girl's father that you were able to keep her financially. So so if they would go from a man to a woman, and the man would have this spoon made, so they're not spoons that you eat with, they're like ornamental, you can put them on the wall, and you would have different symbols, you know, engraved into them which represent different things. So the man would go and get this spoon commissioned, if you like, for his partner, and then it wouldn't be an engagement, but it's kind of showing that your relationship is becoming a bit more serious.
Like a hope chest.
And you're going to, so you're going to be potentially, you know, looking to stay with that person, and you're showing the woman's father that you're responsible, I suppose, and you have the money to look after her. I know the world isn't like this now, but this is how people would have done it. So now some of them are wooden, some of them are silver, and they can look a lot like the spoons that you would eat with, but they have decorations on them. Put them on the wall. So you can get wooden ones that are a bit like the size of a wooden spoon that you might use for stirring something. And on the part that would be rounded, that you would eat with or stir with, that can be turned into a heart, or it can be rounded. It's up to you. And then you can have names, symbols, dates of birth, engraving on there. You can get 21, 18, 16, because people do them for birthdays and things now, within the circular part or within the heart. And then going down the handle, you have vines. So what it looks like is lots of lines and balls going down the outside of the handle, and this represents grapes, and this is supposed to represent the man wanting the woman to have all of the fruits of life. Then there are balls on the handle which are grapes, and that's supposed to represent the number of children that the man hopes the woman will have. And so often a woman will get a Welsh love spoon and going, I'm not having 6 kids, you know. But they're given to couples, or one half of a couple, as a romantic thing. They can be given as, you know, wedding anniversary gifts. They can be given as you know, an eternity sort of symbol. They can be given for big birthday, all sorts of reasons, and people pass them through families' hands. And when you see them in shops, they usually have a sign with them, and there'll be different symbols, and it will tell you what they mean. You know, so there's something for friendship, there's something for loyalty, and you can, you know, if you order them online, or you're able to spend more time in a place, you can get them engraved. But in a lot of the shops, they have them pre-made for specific things, you know. So when you're in Builth, you may see a couple of Welsh love spoons. However, in Llangollen, the second place that we go to, you're much more likely to get the Welsh souvenirs, and you'll see a lot of them there. So Welsh love spoons will probably be number 1. There's also something called bara breath. So bara breath is literally fruit bread, and bara breath would be 2 pieces of like a rich fruit cake with butter on, and it's almost like a bread. It's very rich, it's very nice, and that's quite popular in Wales. Welsh cakes are a bit like an Eccles cake, so Welsh cakes are quite popular. You'll see signs for a place called Abergavenny as well. And we're going into Builth Wells. So Builth is in an area called Brecknockshire, and it's also within a county of Monmouthshire, not too far where Monmouthshire and Pembrokeshire come together. Now throughout the much of the morning and the very early part of the afternoon, we're going to be in Wales, but we're going to be not that far from the English border. So you have an area called the Marcher territory, and what that means is to march a boundary or frontier. And when Edward I invaded Wales, because the Welsh kept rebelling, he built a lot of castles, very traditional kind of medieval looking castles, on the boundary between the 2 countries. And then he gave them to his friends, or people that were loyal to him, like earls and dukes, and they would report any rebellions to him. So often the British monarchs or English monarchs who had invaded Wales were not living in Wales. You know, William is Prince of Wales. He did live in Wales for a while with Catherine after they got married, but it doesn't really mean, you know, they learned a bit of Welsh. You know, both Charles and William have done speeches in Welsh, but they don't live in Wales, and they don't have a royal estate within Wales or anything. So what they will do, or what they did historically, was build these castles on the boundary, and set up a big parliament for the Welsh marches, and that was in a town called Ludlow. And Ludlow is in England, but it's quite close to the English and Welsh border, not far from Shrewsbury or Shrewsbury, depending on how different people choose to pronounce it. And that's in an English county called Shropshire. So this Marcher territory had castles, but all of the castles are ruins because they were all damaged by the Welsh who were rebelling against English rule. And a lot of the castles went up in the 1200s, but now, you know, there's very, very little of them to see. The Welsh do have a guy who's very much like William Wallace, but Welsh, and he's a man called Owen Glendower, and he fought for Welsh independence in 1401. So he fought back against English rule. And he did attack Cardiff Castle, him and his brother as well. Now there are lots of stories about Wales. Sometimes they're known as Map Gynon. And in particular there are these little fairy stories or Welsh tales about the Welsh mountains up in the north, and we'll come to that later on today. As we get a little bit nearer Builth, we'll talk a bit more about the agriculture there. So there is a famous agricultural show which takes place every summer on the outskirts of Builth Wells. And probably the two most famous things that you would see in Builth would be a big wall painting of Llewellyn the Last, and the wall mural or the wall painting is about 35 foot by 30 foot, and it's a picture which depicts the last moments of Llewellyn. So after the Battle of Alwyn Bridge, Llewellyn was going away from the battlefield on a horse, and it's said that the blacksmith tried to help hide him from the English, and that he turned the horse's shoes on the horse's feet the wrong way round. This probably isn't true, but this is a legend, because in February 1282 at the Battle of Alwyn Bridge it was snowy, and so it would look like the horse was going in a different direction. But then a family who may have been loyal to Edward betrayed Llewellyn. It may have been the Mortimer family, and handed Llewellyn over to Edward, and it was on Edward's orders that he was executed. So you see a picture of a man on a horse, and that is Llewellyn. So the wall mural is of Llewellyn the Last, who's the last true Welsh Prince of Wales. The other thing that you see is a cipher. Now, I was asked yesterday about the Prince of Wales in relation to Edward. So you might remember that Edward VIII abdicated to marry an American divorcee, a lady called Wallis Simpson. He chose love. He decided he didn't want to be king. So briefly in 1936 he came to the throne, and then his dad, who was George VI, Colin Firth in the King's Speech, ended up coming to the throne unexpectedly because Edward had abdicated. Now, I mentioned before that when you see post boxes over here, they have ciphers on them, C-I-P-H-E-R, and that means that it shows which monarch was on the throne when the post box was created. There are also buildings that have crests or ciphers on them as well. So in Builth Wells we're going to see a cipher for Edward VIII. There are only 3 that exist. One is damaged, and one of them is in Builth Wells. So because he came to the throne and then he abdicated so quickly, it's very rare to see a symbol of Edward. So when we drive around Builth, we're going to drive past it. It's on a building that does not look at all historically significant. It's a building that used to be a post office and it isn't anymore. But above the door there's a little triangular section, and within that triangle there is the symbol of Edward VIII. So the symbol itself is important, but what it's on doesn't look especially significant, and I'll point that out to you when we drive up Builth. Also, you will see Gorsted stones in Builth as well, and traditionally Gorsted stones are standing stones that would be placed together in a circle where there are big events. And in Wales there's something called an Eisteddfod. Now, an Eisteddfod is an event where people perform poetry, music, song, lots of different things, and they come from all over Wales to do it. And it takes place in a different town every year. So when Builth in the 1990s had the Eisteddfod, they placed the Gorsted stones there. So the stones look older than they are, but they were there for the Eisteddfod, and it's more recent. The International Eisteddfod, where people come from all over the world, takes place in the same place every year, and that is Llangollen, that we're going to about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and that will be our lunch stop. And Pavarotti and people have sang there. You know, lots of opera-style singers. It's a big competition. People win for music, poetry, writing, singing, all sorts of entertainment. Yeah. And the international one is quite a big event every year, and it's something that Llangollen, as well as the Pontysuckle Aqueduct, is very much associated with. So what will look like standing stones like Stonehenge, they're not as old as that, but they are put there to commemorate the fact that Builth has hosted the Eisteddfod, which they would see very much as an honour. They also associate a white bull with Builth Wells. There are lots of cattle around Builth, and farming is a massive industry. And they talk about a white bull like it's a mysterious creature. You never see this white bull, but they claim that there is one lurking in the area. And there is a statue of a bull close to where we park. There are also free restrooms near where we park, near a little car park. And that's also because the local teams there, for football and everything, are called the Bulls. But there is also a mysterious white bull that people claim exists, that nobody ever sees or photographs. So yeah, so we discovered that Jermaine likes an NFL team called the Bulls.
The Bills.
Can I confess?
The Bills.
The Bills. Can I confess why? Because you drove them around.
Oh yeah.
So I was asking him. I got that wrong. Sorry, the Bills. The Bills.
They're basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bills are they basketball? No, they're NFL.
Bills are basketball. Bills are NFL.
Ah, right. Bills are NFL. Sorry. Right. So we had this conversation about the NFL yesterday.
Yes.
And the Chiefs. Anyway, so I was talking to Jermaine, and he supports the Bills, and it's because when they came over to England, he drove them around on the coach.
Yeah.
So he didn't really know that much about them, but I think just thought they were nice, and so he sort of officially says he supports them now. So there you go. But I know we have a few people that support
In New
the
York.
Chiefs.
We don't like the
There
Bills.
must be
We don't like the
parties
Bills.
if they
I don't like
I
the
went to
Bills.
school in
I
New York.
don't like the Bills. Go Bills. Sorry.
They're from New York.
But is that AFC?
Yes. We're Jets fans.
I'm a Bills.
Oh, so that's why you don't like them.
Yeah.
I'm a Bills fan. I went to school in Buffalo.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
She likes and I likes Buffalo Bills. And she likes Buffalo.
Oh.
She's unfortunate. Bills are doing good. Yeah, they're going down though. They're not good. He's going to lose a lot of players. Okay.
Well, so
They'll still
does that
good, but
mean
not
if you're
quite
a
as good.
Jets fan that you're also a Rams fan?
I am.
Yeah, Jets and Nets. Rangers are doing
Mets
better.
fans are very dedicated,
Oh yeah, but
don't you think? Because
Yeah.
the Yankees are the ones that always,
they've had one championship.
yes, quite a few.
Little jokes.
So
But they-
we'll stop 45 minutes, so you can have 45 on the taco.
In a slump for
But
a
then-
few years, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they make it to the playoffs.
They need enough time to get lunch.
Yeah. They look like
And
they're
also
good
we need to leave Llangollen on time.
They always
for
do
Liverpool,
in the
because
beginning.
otherwise
Yeah.
it's too late.
Okay.
So we'll probably do like 45.
I
and then
don't
we go.
follow that much, but
That's okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Troy, let's see what you're doing. Make sure we go left first, so we can go.
my daughter last weekend went for the first time to Fenway.
Oh yeah. And
Fenway's a fun place.
I mean, her husband's a big Yankee fan,
Uh-huh.
and so he wanted to take the kids to Fenway to see the green, whatever it is.
The Green Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kids are little and they still already take. Oh, they take them to Yankee Stadium, even though they're so little.
That's when you gotta get that's when you gotta get started with the kids. When they develop into fans, you have to start at a young age.
Well, he now this year they took his daughter. They took their daughter. She was 5, but the son they do always
like 5-10 minutes, but then
Yeah.
when we get off the coach from where we drop everyone, I need to walk them a short distance.
I think I should have 12 or 11 hours off today.
Yeah. Yeah,
Should be
cool.
okay.
I think so.
Because you should be done with you're going to go at 4:30. Should be done by 6:30 at the latest.
But that's good. That's good.
Yeah, most of them do about an hour and 45. In fact, it'll probably be before that because the hotel's near the cavern, she'll do the cavern last,
Right.
and then you don't go back to the hotel after.
Yes.
So it might be like after about an hour and a half we'll be finished. I don't know, something like that. But Maria will work it out with you. But it's yeah.
Yeah, I think
But they then go and get dinner, so like they're getting dinner independently, so there's no they need time to do that.
Right.
Marie's very good, she's a sweetie.
Yeah.
Do those bushes separate the different parcels of land that people?
Yes, yeah, they work the hedgerow, yeah.
Are they doing the same tour we're doing?
Yes, they are, yeah. They're staying at some different
Oh,
hotels.
that's what you said that.
Yeah. But the tour in the day, yes, they do.
And how many are in there?
24, same.
This bus holds 50, right?
No, because this is a K tour, so some of the tours are under 28 people, and when you book them, the tour code has a K on the end,
Right.
so it's promised that it'll be under 28. We're a KA, so we're the A coach, we're the first coach, they're a K. And so what would have happened is when we booked our coach up to 28, they then put a second coach on it, which would be their coach.
So they're under 28 also. We
Yeah.
could have had 4 more people.
We did have, but people cancelled. So we would have had 28, but I think a few days before the tour, there was 4 that cancelled. Yeah. So we're going into Builth, which will depict the last moments of Llewellyn the Last on the War mural. In Brecknockshire, it has a population of probably about 2,300, 2,400 people. So Builth is relatively small. And you will notice that when we arrive there, a few of the shops will be, just about opening up. So it's a little bit sleepy. When they see coaches, they'll probably open up some of the shops. But in terms of souvenirs, Llangollen will be a better option. Builth tends to have, I suppose we'd say, knick-knack shops, sort of random odds and ends kind of shops, and also a few antique places as well. So quite a random selection of shops. Builth Wells is a bit like that.
Yeah.
You're right.
That was that.
Yeah, 8 o'clock, yeah. We could probably leave 5 past or 10 past if we needed to, but I'm just thinking from the Albert Dock to our hotel, you should be able to do it in 10 really, but the traffic can be bad. So, yeah, 8 o'clock ideally. You'll be done by 6:15 probably tonight.
Tomorrow, what time? No, it's not tomorrow. Sorry, the day after.
The day after, well, that depends on what we've done with Glasgow. So, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock again.
Yeah, if not 7:45. Well, no, we'll probably have to do 7:45 or 8, because we're going to get into the Glasgow hotel quite late. We're going to get in about 6 or something. Sorry. Yeah. So probably it will depend on how much. So because we do a Glasgow orientation drive, and how much of that we I wouldn't have implied I knew anyway, but
Yeah, yeah.
it probably is one of those things where it probably would sort of come up because
Yes, it probably would come.
because I'd be like, oh, have you been driving for ages? And then he'd be like, oh well, you know.
Yeah, let him come up.
Yeah. So, but no, I would never have. Yeah.
Just treat him as a normal.
Yeah. Oh no, I would. Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
make a lot of money from wool. They mainly use them for lamb. Yeah.
For food.
Yeah. Mutton isn't a big thing, so the adult sheep they're not as interested in. But the lamb, when they're about a year old, that's what.
Oh, mutton are large lambs.
Muttons are like adult sheep.
Oh, adult sheep.
Yeah, but it's not popular here. Like,
So lamb chops, what we eat that are so expensive in the United States, they come from baby lambs.
Maybe sheep.
yeah, baby sheep. Yeah.
A mutton would be a mutton chop, yeah.
Yeah, mutton's like an adult sheep, but it's not as popular
It's
at all.
more gamey, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, lamb's the big thing. Sorry?
Let's see. We got it. If you use mutton, you've got to really stew it. Haven't you?
Oh, right.
Is
Yeah.
it top and all?
But we don't have it in Australia. It's sheep.
Mutton
Mutton is old, and if you do use mutton, you've got to go for long stews. In Australia, we don't have mutton. We have lamb.
Yeah, lamb.
Yeah.
Lamb is very expensive. Lamb chops,
We get it by lamb. We get lamb roast, lamb chops, and lamb nice. That's all lamb.
really good lamb chops in the United States.
We get a lot of lamb chops from Australia.
Yeah. Our lamb is
Really lamb chops.
very, very good.
It's expensive.
See, a lot of our lamb is exported to Europe. So you do see lamb on menus, and people might go to a pub maybe and have a Sunday lunch with lamb. But if you were buying meat at home, kind of the standards would be beef and chicken. Like in the supermarket, they're the most reasonably priced meats. Lamb would be a bit more expensive, and pork, but also lamb.
They have a lot of cows
Yes. Oh yeah. Dairy and for meat.
and chickens, and
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Italy does it.
We have a lot of black Angus.
Aberdeen Angus cows, Frisians, black and white with big rounded bottoms, Belted Galloways, Highland cattle. Yeah. Aberdeen Angus is for the meat.
Yeah, they had a cow problem here.
A mad cow disease in about 2002, 2003. Yeah, it really, it started near a place called Heddon, which is in England, but it's near Scotland. And they had to slaughter the whole herd if one of them had it. So yeah, it was very, very bad for the farming
Yeah.
community.
You got that viral encephalitis or something? Sort of
Yeah.
infection in your brain?
Yeah, it's
Serious, yeah.
they start foaming at the mouth, and it's yeah.
Did it come to the United States?
So there was an embargo. There was a whole big thing
Yeah, we
about
were
it.
worried
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I was worried about it.
Any word in England about Kate's illness?
No, we are being asked about Catherine Kate's illness, so we don't know anything else. She hasn't come back to work yet. We don't know what.
It's okay.
Well, we hope she is okay. Yeah, she has cancer, but what part of her body? I mean, we know it's like abdominal sort of area, and there's no more information given, which I think the majority of people sort of respect. And yeah, we don't know. I mean, if they want to tell us information, then they'll tell us. They'll release a
Also,
statement.
Charles doesn't have
He has prostate, yeah, and I think
No, he had a prostate operation, but then they found cancer.
Yeah.
Prostate cancer.
yeah. So, but I think his is more simple to deal with.
Right.
So I think he possibly, one of the reasons why he came out and spoke about his was to take the heat off of her a bit,
Right.
because he spoke quite openly about it, whereas she only did kind of when she was pushed into it by the newspapers, to be honest. But she did a video, she did a statement, which,
They doctored the pictures.
well, yeah, so there was all this talk about, I just think if people are unwell, if they want to talk about it, then they can
Yeah,
talk
right.
about it, and if they want to keep it to themselves, that's
Well,
fine,
it's good
you know.
that she did that, because quite a few people didn't get
But
it, the respect.
She did a video, which, you know,
Yeah, we saw that.
yeah, and I think part of the reason she waited was because she hadn't told the children and they were going to break up from school, so she waited till the school holidays and then told them and then released the video. But it was because the press and people were just talking about it non-stop. What kind of cancer would it be? What would that mean? How long would a treatment be? You know, and all the TV shows had a doctor on being interviewed about what it could all mean, you know.
She did a good job.
Somebody tried to break into the medical.
Yeah, somebody tried to get her medical records, which you're not. I mean, the press, if they published anything like medical records, they'd be breaking all their ethic, you know.
Right.
But I think people. Well, our press over here, there was a big inquiry into like phone hacking and things, and I think there are probably methods that they use that aren't.
Well, Harry sued.
Well, Harry, yes, he did.
Paparazzi have no ethics.
Where they're supposed to have stopped phone hacking now, but I mean I don't know if they have. But yeah, our press can, you know, be invasive, and I mean so if they can claim it's in the public interest, you know, they can get like undercover people working undercover and stuff to go and find out information, and I think that's what they do a lot, and they pay people off. So they'll go into the hospital and there'll be a nurse there who's on quite a low salary and they'll offer her loads of money, or him, and that's how they do it. But I mean, I think that's quite immoral, but anyway, yeah, it's a difficult one. I think most people kind of felt for her because she probably out of choice wouldn't have said anything, but anyway, yeah, I hope she's doing well. We don't know any details. She hasn't come back yet, and there's been a couple of events where that she would have gone to normally, so we assume she's still having treatment at the moment.
She helped people because she said at the end of the video, she said, "You're not alone." I think that really helped. You know.
Oh no, I think it's helpful to people that have experienced cancer.
Yeah, and she
definitely.
she did a good job.
She came across beautifully. Yeah,
Sorry
absolutely.
for her. I feel really
But I think everybody felt bad for her that she
was pushed into it. I think,
yeah,
wasn't she?
possibly she was pushed
It was
into
good to
it.
put it to rest, though.
Yeah, but we're all worried about her.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound good.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know, but.
Well, it's also probably quite hard on because William was probably worried about his dad and his wife at the same time,
Right.
he was having a lot of there were a lot of public events that he didn't go to, and the problem is because they're partly public funded,
Right.
the monarchy. If there's things that they're not going to and not
It would have
doing,
been
they sort of feel like they have to justify it, so they kind of had to say he's upset at the moment and this is why he's not at things.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, so I think that's part of it as well. Yeah.
Too bad he doesn't get along with Harry.
We don't know behind the scenes. They might have, you know, I don't know. I just think as long as they're all happy and doing what they want, you know, it's fine. I think being a member of the royal family would be quite difficult, and psychologically would not be something that I would want to do. So yeah,
I just don't think
straight off.
I don't think they should have gone on Oprah Winfrey like that.
But it's
Isn't this scenic?
guys, this is absolutely beautiful, and we're just coming into Builth Wells now. Yes, I think it would be very hard to be a member of the royal family. I personally would not want to do it.
Oh, well done, Jermaine. Oh.
Okay guys, well done Jermaine, woo!
Hey.
Okay guys, we're going to go straight on now, and what we're going to do is in front of us to our right hand side, you're going to see some trees there, down near the River Wye, and further down there is a little car park, coach park, and that's where we're going to park, but we're not going there now, we're going straight on. This is the mural to Llewellyn the Last on your right hand side, the painting that I mentioned, and this is the one street here in Builth Wells that you'll want to walk down. A few little shops, places where you can get tea or coffee. There is a place called the Drovers Inn. The sheep drovers would travel down wearing smocks and hats, and they would travel down over a number of weeks between the north of Wales or the north of England down towards London to take their animals to the slaughterhouse or to market. The Drovers Inn is on the left hand side here. This is one option. We're going to turn right in a moment. And so the drovers would stay in local residences. You want to have your cameras ready to be pointed to the right. They would stay in some of the residences, and they would put plant Scots pines outside to show that they were able to have the animals at the back and house people inside. Okay, the cipher I mentioned for Edward VIII. You want to look to the right now, And there's a brown building coming up which doesn't look like it's anything, but the second door is brown and above the door is a triangle. Do you see that on the right now?
Yep.
1936. That is very, very rare because he abdicated. He was only on the throne for a couple of months and then he abdicated.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
What
so
was the 1936?
Edward VIII abdicated and George VI came to the throne. There's the Gorstead stones on the left. They're not historical, but they are war memorial on the left, but they are there for the Steffod. So essentially there is one road parallel to us. Where there's a person with a red jacket in front of us to the right, you can walk up there to go onto that street. What you probably want to do is a circle. So you either want to go behind us, past the siphon all the way along, and then back down by the bull, which is in front of us, and come back to the coach. We should be able to get in behind him here. Or you want to go the other way. But basically you want to do a circle round. Okay guys, we're going to leave at 5 minutes to 11. 10:55, 10:55.